is 7:14 p.m. I'm going to start live streaming it. Bear with me.
Jeremy, I'm in.
Who's that? Shadow? Yeah, no, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Joanne says
Just mute
she's trying
yourself.
to get on, but she can't get on.
Who's that?
Joanne says she's trying to get on, but she can't get on.
Joanne Terrelonge.
Right.
Okay. And she can always call in. Like I said, that's worst case scenario.
Let me call her back then.
Okay. Yeah, just mute yourself, please.
All right, thanks.
Thank you. All right. All right. So let me Al, do you want to begin? I guess or Frano, you want to start? Moment of silence. We are recording. It is September 24th, 2020 at 7:15 p.m. This is the Bronx Community Board 11 full board meeting for September. Frano, you want to lead us off with a moment of silence? You still there, Frano? I think Frano
Jeremy,
dropped off.
Jeremy, I'll start. First of all, I want to welcome everybody and hope everyone is feeling well. Let's pause for one moment, a moment of silence for all our fallen first responders, medical, military service personnel, and all victims of the COVID-19 pandemic, and all victims of racial unrest in the country. So let's take a minute of silence and just keep those in our silent prayer. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Al.
Pause in your court. Okay.
Okay. Let's turn it over to 80. She's the chair of the nominating committee, and we have an election on the agenda. 80, could you unmute yourself?
Yes, we have to vote on the first vice chair today, correct? And
Yes.
I believe Jeremy sent out a very detailed email on how we should vote, and we'll be able to vote at 7:30, if I'm not mistaken.
As soon as we run through the nominations and I update the ballot based on who's nominated, yes, I will email it out. That's the plan. I hope everybody has access to their email. I could send it via chat for whoever's has a problem. I could send it privately through the chat, a function too. So do you want to take nominations from the floor, Katie?
Yes, so we're gonna open it up, I guess, to anyone who either wants to make a nomination.
I'd like to make a nomination as Joanne Rubino for first vice chair. I'd like to nominate Yahay Obaid.
I'll second.
I'll second.
All right, one at a time. Al,
I'll second.
Okay, so seconded by Al. Yahay, do you accept?
I accept.
Okay. 80. You want to see if there's any other nominations before we close them?
Yeah, that's fine. Are there any other actually, before I do open it up, yeah, I did submit a statement of interest, and Jeremy did forward it to everyone about a week or so ago. But does anyone have any questions for Yai?
Sometimes you don't even know who you're voting for, so it becomes so hard to say we're voting for someone we don't even know.
That is the reason why we requested that members write a letter of interest, expressing their interest and why they're interested. Did you get a chance to read his?
Avril, did you hear that?
No.
So what I indicated was that Yahe wrote a letter expressing interest in running for vice chair. Jeremy sent out the email about a week or so ago, and I'm asking if you have any questions for Yahe based on the letter that he submitted.
I can't have any question because I'm not even too sure who the person is right now.
You mean you don't know what he looks like, or you don't know who he is?
Yeah, I'm not too sure. I can't bring the name. I'm not too sure who the person is. So I don't know how we're voting. I don't know if everyone get it. I just received the information for the meeting, but I'm not too sure about reading someone. You know, I got the information today, but it was just last minute.
Well, do you want to propose someone else?
Well, I don't know who is up, who is, you know, the names. I thought we would have names and everyone can make a decision who they would like to vote for. But to just come tonight and be put on the spot, I don't know. Can't call any names.
Hey, Miss Avril, like in the chat box within WebEx, like I included like Yahe's bio page if you wanted to like just glance over that to get like an idea of who like we're nominating.
Okay.
Jeremy, is there any way you can put his picture up so people can see who he is?
Yeah.
If you click the link, like it takes you to his bio and he has like a picture in his bio as well.
So
But we can see him on the.
Yeah,
you should ask.
He goes on the video.
Oh Lord.
Hi, Yahe.
Can
There he is.
I think I.
Okay, I just muted everybody. So let's stay muted, please, and let Yahe say whatever he wants if he wants to say anything, maybe. Unless you got a better idea.
Yeah, do you want to just tell the board why you're interested in the vice chair?
Well, just like everybody else, we signed up for this for community service. We all have the energy. We all want to do the right thing. We all want to serve the community and represent our communities. So here I am. I've been on the board for 4 years. I've been the chair of the Public Safety Committee for a couple of years. Currently, also the chair of the Ethics and Disciplinary Committee. I love what I do. I love the community board. I think we have a very, very, very important job to do in representing our community. That's pretty much it. I'll keep it short, but if anyone has any questions, I'll take questions.
And I'd like to add, because I do serve with Galley.
I didn't hear you, Ada. It was garbled. I don't know if it's my Wi-Fi or yours, but mine's not the greatest.
But I do serve with Yahe in the ethics committee, and he's very impressive. He's very thorough, very patient, and he really takes. I mean, he spends a lot of time outside of our scheduled meetings with the work that he does, like to make sure that he gives his all. So I second his nomination for sure.
So unless anybody has questions, can we see if there's any other nominations from the floor?
Thank you.
So
Okay. So I was saying, Jeremy, I don't know how I've been on this board for a while myself, and when we're talking about, you know, just having a meeting tonight, nominating a person, I don't know how it was sent out, but I always thought that, you know, people would be aware that is a position available. So, you know, folks can prepare themselves for a time as this, other than just coming on a meeting and nominating someone. So I really don't know. I don't know anything about what's happening here tonight. I understand his credential and everything, but we are talking about a community. So we're not just talking about a title and a position and, just having that. We're talking about a community that we choose to serve. And for too long, I've been watching community boards and politicians and everybody use this. I'm here and I want to serve the community, but really and truly, it's bigger than just a title. So for me to nominate someone, I have to know who the nominees are so that I could make a decision.
So I don't know if Ada, you want to address that or anybody else does? I mean, I could, but I want to leave it to the board members.
This was talked about in June of last year. That's when the first information came up about taking over, somebody stepping into Tony's spot. So it was, we were available in June, talking about it in June, so.
Like
it was,
that. So when we finish, come and press it back.
Okay, Averill?
Yeah, well, I'm sorry. In June of last year, I traveled to work. I know I don't recall.
He meant June of this year. June of this year.
Oh, June of this year? Well, I
Yeah.
guess during the pandemic, I assume I was probably absent, but I'm sorry that I missed it, but we could continue with the meeting. I don't choose to hold your meeting up.
Let's move on.
Okay.
Jeremy, can we move on if there's no other?
Nomination.
No, it's not about just moving on. It's about respect if somebody's talking. It's not about Jeremy, can we move on? If I'm not clear on something, I have every right to ask the question.
Ms. Francis, would you like to
Yes,
nominate?
you do.
Would you like to nominate anyone that you think should
Exactly.
qualifies for the position?
No, because I don't know anyone right now that I could think of for the position, because for me, I need to know what the position is all about. I didn't know this position was available. So right now, as Fran will say, let's move on with the meeting. I'm not going to try to hold it up any longer if that's the way you do things.
Okay. So,
Jeremy, can I make a comment, please?
yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I wasn't questioning Ms. Averill's statement. All I was saying is, if there's another nomination, let's put that nomination. I understand her concern, but let's take other nominations if they are available.
Okay, thank you.
And Jeremy, just to be clear, for the last couple of months, we have gave numerous amount of email collateral to keep the board, briefed on who the nominations are. So this is not something that's fairly new. It's been emailed to all of the boards for them to be aware.
So Darrell, if it's nothing new, I said this is my first time getting the email today. I discussed it, I responded, and if I wasn't aware, I only making myself clear. So in June, I was not available during the pandemic, and I'm just coming back. So if it's new to me, or if I overlooked it, I apologize, but I'm just letting you know, I don't know who the nominees are. So as Frano, I think, says, let's move on. Whoever the nominees are, let's move on with the way things are done.
Okay. I guess if there's no others, Ada, you want to close the nominations?
Yes, if there are clearly no other nominations, so yes, I would like to close.
Okay. So nominations are closed for the elections, and in this case, if there are no other nominees, I believe the bylaws, and David could correct me, allow for the nominating committee to cast a single vote for the single nominee. I don't know if anybody wants to quickly look up the bylaws, if you want me to do that, or
I don't think we can do that, Jeremy, because then we wouldn't be able to have the ability of writing candidates.
Oh, yes. I forgot about that. That's no longer valid. I forgot about that. Yep. Okay. So we still got to do a ballot. So in that case, I think we should just go over a roll call one more time, at least in terms of the people who weren't there before, because I saw Junior just joined. Even though somebody said he was there, I just want to make sure make sure there's an opportunity for somebody to say, hey, I'm here, people. So the persons I didn't hear from before was Bernadette, which She said she most likely can't make the meeting. Melanie LaHose, Sylvia Mazzella, Ann Norris. She said she couldn't make it. Penny Prezioso, Keith Ramsey, Marnie Rodriguez. Tom Shiano said he couldn't make it. Joseph Schensler. Tony Signorelli said he couldn't make it. Don Scuteri said he couldn't make it. Joanne Terralange, any update with her? Does anybody see her name? Did she call in, Shrado?
She's looking at it, but I don't see her on the screen. She says she's seen everybody, but I don't
You
know.
might be
if
watching it on Facebook.
I don't know how
So-
she's not getting in. I just spoke to her.
So she's watching it, 80. I don't know if you want to consider her present.
She's just muted.
Okay, let me look at the attendance. Hold on. Yes, she's here. Thank you. I'm gonna make her a panelist.
Okay.
And then, so the ballots will get to send to everybody that checked off, minus the people I just named that aren't in the meeting. Last person was Linda White. She said she couldn't make it most likely. Okay. Okay. Anything else, Adie? Or we can move on with the meeting.
Are you sending the ballot now, Jeremy?
When do we get the ballots?
I'm working. I just got to update it, and I'm going to send it just to the people that were present. So if you just
we'll just wait for you to finish that and let's just vote, I think, and get that out of the way. Is that okay?
What's that?
I'm suggesting that we just wait for everyone to vote before we proceed, if that's okay.
So, Jeremy, to be clear, you're sending us an email with the ballot? Because how am I going to do it?
Yes, my intention is for you to check your email. Is that okay with everybody?
Yeah.
Think that's how we did it last time?
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I tried to get through to Keith Ramsey and he's trying to get in now. I'm just letting you know, I just tried to call him, so that's what I'm doing.
So I don't know, Adie, do you want to include him?
If someone's trying to join, I think we'll wait like a few minutes.
Okay, so I will. All right, let me just send out the ballot. Bear with me. Give me a few seconds. It didn't actually take that long.
Featured on social media here. When I get my last one, kind of an art project for you. It is a little artsy craft.
I just sent it. So can you please confirm if you received it?
I see it online.
Rubino.
Also.
Yeah, I'm confirming that I have received the email.
Okay, great. So if everybody wants to do that real quickly.
Okay, wait a minute.
Jeremy, I haven't received it.
I received it. How do I, okay.
Jeremy,
Okay, you should have got now, Janice.
I'll check it. Hold on.
Has the person been able to join yet? The person who was having trouble?
Pat Charles is Keith.
I
in?
received it, Jeremy.
Thank you. Anybody see Keith Ramsey's name?
Wait. There we go.
Do not see Keith's name. Pat Charles, is Keith still trying to join in, do you know? I have a new caller and I can check that person. Let me try to find out who that is while everybody's doing their ballot. I have a caller number 9 from a 718-547 number. If you'd like to identify yourself, especially if you're Keith Ramsey, that'd be appreciated.
Hi,
Jeremy,
it's Diana Finch, not a member.
Okay.
Jeremy, I received and sent the ballot back. Okay.
Jeremy, do you hear me?
Yeah, Edith.
All right, I filled it out and send it right back to you.
Jeremy, this is
Thank you very much.
Sandy. I filled out the ballot and sent it in.
Okay, and I hope everybody put in their full legal name, please. So I don't have to try to figure out who you are and make you do your ballot again, please. Make sure you do your full legal name, type it in.
This is a test for a mail-in ballot for the election.
What's that?
I was joking. I said this is like a test. for
Let's
the
not jinx
mail-in
ourselves.
ballots.
Let's not jinx ourselves. Come on.
Okay.
Jeremy, I submit mine too. Try it.
Hey, Jeremy, Joe.
Hey, Joe.
Yeah, I'm having trouble with the ballot. Can you just put me in? And I'm definitely for Yahe.
Sure. I mean, yeah. Is everybody good to move on?
Yes.
Or is there any other
I'm
challenges?
fine.
Yes, I'm fine, Jeremy. I voted already.
No, I know. So if anybody has any problems, please let me know now. Otherwise, we can try turning it over. I don't know if the captain is here. I know the captain. I see Jay Sturdivant is in, so I assume he is. 80, what do you want? You want to give it a little bit more time?
Yeah, can we?
No, let's move on.
Hold on. Speaking to the chair of the nominating committee, she's in charge right now.
Can we wait?
Okay.
Can we just wait 3 more minutes? I mean, we can proceed with other things, but maybe in 3 more minutes, just see if anyone else has joined. Allow them to vote, and then we can close.
Let's check the ballot real quick. Let me just see who I
did
haven't
mine.
received. Yep. So I have 33 responses so far. 30.
Did you get mine, Jeremy?
Not doing individual. Now, let me just hold on. Is that Ellie?
Jerry, did you get mine?
30. Is that Ellie Rodriguez?
Yes.
I have 30 responses, but I have 33 people in the meeting. So 2 if you count Joe Thompson's troubles. So I'm missing 2 people.
Jeremy, I sent the first one in without putting my name in. And then I put in my name and
Then we're
sent it
missing.
again.
Okay, so then we're really missing 3 people.
Al, it's Ken Gilling. I have to abstain because I just.
Jeremy, have you received my vote?
Galnick was speaking first. What did you say?
I did. I have to abstain.
Well, you were in before, and we acknowledged that,
Couldn't
and you were
hear
part of the
anything,
roll
that's why.
call, voting on first vice chair. It's up to you. It's up to you. If you want to abstain, that's up to you.
I forget who the candidates are.
Jeremy Junior Campbell, have you received my vote?
Hold on. Let me finish with Ken Jr.
Okay.
So we only have one nominee, Yahe Obi.
And I'll vote
Huh? What's that?
for him.
You're going to vote for him?
Yes.
Okay. Junior, I can go
Yes.
through and see if he's voted, if that helps.
I have
Katie, if
voted.
you want to go through who's voted and who hasn't?
Excuse me?
That may help. That may help, Jeremy.
Yeah. Okay. Just bear with me, Junior.
Okay.
Please, everybody, mute yourself. Okay. I'm almost there. Just bear with me. And please, you mute yourself, please, everybody, please. Frano or Chris, can you guys identify who's not muting themselves and ask them to mute themselves?
All right, everyone, please mute your microphone. We don't hear others until Jeremy says so.
I just gotta mute everybody.
Why don't you do it, Jeremy?
I just muted everybody. Okay. Bear with me. All right. I'm going to read off names of votes I have. Albert D'Angelo, Andrea Siegel, Christian Amato, Daisy Rodriguez, David Levitt, Deborah Kowalik, Joelle Bohan, Edie Shkreli, Edith Blitzer, Eliezer Rodriguez, Lisa Soto, Frano Zagreta, Hazel Mura, Janice Walcott, Joanne Rubino, Joe Menta, Joe Thompson, Junior Campbell, Ken Gelnick, Moshe Fuchs, Natalie Medina, Earl Selkridge, Patricia Charles, Paula Creary, Sandra Unger, Shrado Purdom. Hold on. Let me scroll down. Throw Yahe Obeid. Who are we missing?
Tasneem.
I didn't hear you call Joanne.
And you're missing Avril.
So if any of those people, so Tasneem, you just announced yourself, right?
Yes, and I voted through the email.
Yeah, so do it again and make sure you type in your name. Maybe you didn't type in your name.
Okay.
And then Avril, are you abstaining? Avril still with us?
Resend mine.
What's that?
This is Joanne. I'm going to resend something.
Joanne Taylor.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm waiting on Joanne, Tasneem, and Avril. Are you? Who's that? Who's speaking?
I just sent mine. This Joanne Turner.
I'm checking now.
It's in transit.
Jeremy,
Sandy.
Jeremy, I'm
Yes.
talking to Joe Baycoat. He did not get his ballot.
Okay. Well, I emailed him. Does he just want to announce it like I guess some of the other people that had problems?
All right. There are some people. All right, hold on.
He told you he was
All right,
voting.
do you want me to tell him who you're voting for? Are you voting for IA? Or do you have someone else?
He had already voted. He voted.
All righty, I'm gonna tell that to Jeremy. Jeremy,
No, Sandy.
Jeremy,
Yeah.
he did not get the ballot, but he cast the vote for IA. I have him on the phone. Is that okay?
Yeah. Hold on. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't see a better way. 80. You're okay with that, right? Is that okay with you?
I mean, we can't hear him, but sure. I mean, I guess we're taking her representation.
I mean, he could,
He could
Joe,
always just get it later. I mean, I
speak
could
very
confirm.
loud, Joe. Hold on. Go ahead, Joe. Tell him that you're voting for you. What's that noise?
It's feedback because of his audio.
All righty, I don't know, but I told him that. Were you able to talk to Jeremy?
No.
All right. Speak louder, Joe. Maybe he could hear you over my.
Yeah, but Joe, I hear you.
You hear me?
Yes.
I don't know what's happened, Jeremy, but he's voting for IA. All righty?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Joe, I'm hanging up. He got your ballot.
So,
All right, bye-bye.
okay. So I heard him. I think I heard enough to verify that
Thank
he
you.
voting the way Sandy said. So is that okay, 80?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Let me go back through.
Jeremy, all you need is a majority. If he has more than half, he's in.
Yeah, I
We're
can
dragging this on forever.
Yeah, I know. I can 80. I can follow up with people that.
Okay, so whoever
If that's okay.
and did not vote, it's a wrap. So I think we can just close the voting and we could just declare who is the first vice chair.
And the exact results will come later with the minutes. I mean, if that's okay with everybody. I don't see anybody. I see two, maybe two abstentions. I see two abstentions. Who's second? Hello?
I'm sorry, can you guys mute yourself? Because whoever's typing, we can hear you typing.
Okay. So I believe I see two abstentions for Yahe, otherwise the rest are for Yahe, the votes.
Great. Thank you so much, Jeremy.
Thank you, Adi. I guess we'll close the elections and move to the 4-9 precinct. Jay, is the captain here?
Hey, Jeremy, how you doing? Can you hear me?
Yes, perfect. Hear you now. Yes.
Captain Mattia, Detective How's everything? All right, first I just want to thank everybody, Jeremy and the board. I want to thank the residents of the 4-9, the community, the whole commercial establishment for the support behind the 4-9 precinct. The police department, we're in difficult times right now, and it is very difficult to be a police officer. It's very difficult to be in law enforcement right now in this country, particularly in New York City. So I want to thank everyone for their support. I know the meeting is kind of going long already, so I will try to be somewhat brief. I just want to give a little basis of comparison, put out there how the 4-9 precinct is doing to the rest of the city. I know a lot of people are reading different things in the newspapers, so I want to put things into perspective for everyone. When we look at New York City, all 5 boroughs as a whole, year to date, we see a large increase in violent crimes. Particularly when I talk about violent crimes, I'm talking. So for the city, all 5 boroughs for the year, we're seeing an increase in homicides of 37%. That's 327 homicides versus 236 from last year. That's almost 100 extra victims. Shootings were up 94%. That's almost 100% increase in shootings for the city. 1,123 versus 580 from last year. Now we drill down a little smaller when we look at the Bronx as a whole. The Bronx is experiencing the same trend that the rest of the city is following. Basically, they're up. There's a huge increase in violent crimes in the Bronx as a whole. Homicides are up 16%. Shootings are up 80%. When we look at the 4-9, we see a little bit different trend. Our violent crimes are even. Our homicides, our shootings are basically even from last year. So that's a good thing. We're not seeing an increase in our violent crimes. However, what we are seeing an increase in is our property crimes. We're seeing a major increase in our burglaries, particularly to commercial establishments. We're up 36%. That's 129 versus 95. That's almost 35 more burglaries than last year. And our grand larceny of autos is up drastically, 131%, 125 versus 54. Huge jump in our grand larceny, or basically stolen cars. In the last 4 weeks, we're seeing 2 major trends, in crime trends in the 4-9 precinct. The first one, we have a male black, approximately 20 years old, doing gunpoint robberies during the daytime. Basically, this male, he's following victims from different banks on White Plains and Pelham Parkway South. There's a couple different banks over there. He's waiting for people to go in, use the ATM, and then he's following them a couple blocks away, displaying a firearm, and basically demanding the money that they just took from the ATM. Last Monday, actually one of the victims of the robbery fought back, and the firearm went off accidentally, and the victim was struck one time in the leg. Again, horrible tragedy. But the good news is we did identify this individual, the perpetrator. We ID'd him on 4 of the 5 incidents, and I'm happy to say that he will be arrested shortly. We are tracking his whereabouts, and hopefully we can bring him to justice soon. Discuss with everyone is we're having a huge jump in locker break-ins at gyms. So as everybody knows, September 2nd, our gyms opened up in the 5 boroughs, and basically a week later, we've seen a huge jump in gym locker break-ins. Basically, what is that? You go into the gym, you go into the locker room, you put your lock on one of these lockers, you leave your belongings in there, and someone comes in and basically clips the lock, breaks the lock, and walks off with your credit cards. In one instance, they walked off with car keys and stole the car out of the parking lot. Good news with that, we do have an individual who's probably good for a person of interest, and we're working on bringing him to justice as well. But just for everyone out there, if you're going to use the gym, make sure you use a secure lock. I just want to talk about briefly one of the programs NYPD has started up a few months ago. I'm not sure too many people are familiar with it. I know everyone's familiar with the NCO program. The NYPD created another program called the YCO program. It basically stands for Youth coordinator offices. And that it basically mirrors the NCO program. I'm not sure if everybody's aware, but the 409 precinct is broken down into 3 separate sectors or 3 separate divisions. We have 3 YCOs. That's 1 youth officer for each one of those sectors. So what does the YCO do? What's their function? Basically, with the YCO, they're focusing on individuals, youths who are less than 18 years old. So that's people who are youth that are 17 and under. And basically, we're doing 3 things. Or YCOs are doing 3 things. We're monitoring at-risk youths, right? So what's an at-risk youth? An at-risk youth is a juvenile, someone less than 18, who's been locked up, been arrested for a violent crime, or may have been arrested for any types of crime. So what we're doing is we're going to visit them. We're trying to get them proper services and kind of, trying to get them on the right path. The second thing that we're doing is we're following up with youth victims. A lot of times our youth are victims of crimes, bullying, robberies, things of that nature. And we're following up with these victims of the youth crimes, again, trying to get them services, trying to go talk to them, enroll them in programs, try to help them out. And the last component of the YCO program is basically programs for our youth. We have the Explorer program over at the precinct. However, at the beginning of the summer, we started another program, a basketball tournament. We basically have these probably about 15 kids, ranging in age. They play basketball. We set up a tournament with the other precincts every Tuesday night. We're going up to the Eastchester houses, using the gymnasium up there. Get kids off the streets and get them more involved with the police and get them more involved with each other. If you look at some of the things we've done over the summer, we've taken kids to the Bronx Zoo. We took them upstate to Tannersville, New York, to go sightseeing, to go hiking, and we even took some time in October. We're taking them out to Great Adventure to do I think they have a haunted house out there. So again, it's a great program. If anyone on the board or anyone in the community wants to, coordinate with us to do stuff, donations, anything, all the YC information is on the NYPD 49 Precinct website. Also, just put out there, if any questions, you can always please monitor us on social media. We have a Twitter account, we have Facebook. We try to keep everything current. And if you have any questions, please. Well, Jeremy, I'll turn it over to you if you want to.
I was informed you have to leave at 8 o'clock. If that's true, we should probably let you go.
Jeremy, can I ask one question?
Well, hold on, Captain. Do you have to leave?
You got about 2 minutes. I mean.
Yeah, he's been on the call since 7 o'clock. Just so everybody knows.
Okay, he said 2 minutes. Can I ask a question, Jeremy?
Yeah, yes, go. Shoot.
Okay. I thank you so much for that. I was waiting to hear that kind of information. I'm very excited about it. One of the things that I do, I host a talk show for the last 19 years, very much involved in the community with the youths, and I put together something similar to that. So if I can get in touch with Jay or anyone, and you spoke about donation, my foundation every year raise money to help youths in the community back to school events. So whatever I can do, please reach out to Jeremy, and Jeremy can give you my information, or Jay, and we can speak more about this. I thank you so much for doing something this magnificent. And if it's the first precinct, I applaud you for doing so.
All right, we look forward to working together with you.
Thank you so much.
Jeremy, can I just say something real quick?
Yeah, less than 1 minute, probably. Go ahead.
Okay, there's a quality of life issue that's going on all over, even in part of 10, where they have these large, these events that go on. Sometimes they start at 2 a.m. And go on till whenever. And one time it was 11 to 6 a.m. They have these lines of cars with these giant speakers, and you can hear them for maybe miles, I don't know, miles around. We don't have an address, but they seem to be popping up like, who can I contact at 3 in the morning? That's the And the thing is, we don't have address because there was one group spotted on Allerton going for several blocks. And it was like a line of cars with these giant speakers. So it's happening here. It's happening in Van Ness. And I don't know, a lot of people have been complaining to me about it. I brought it up before our public safety chair. We had a conversation about it. It's just very difficult. I just wanted to make you aware of it. And maybe there's something we could do about it. I don't know.
Are they now? Are they mobile? Are they like? Are they
I believe
parking?
so. Yes, I
What?
believe they're parking only accidentally. Somebody saw them at 4 a.m. They were walking their dog and they actually saw a bunch of cars. They're saying this is what it is. And they heard, you could hear them from Pelham Gardens all the way to Cough City. It was insane. But that's just one incident, but it's happening in other, in other communities like Van Ness.
So again, I would urge you to call 311.
Okay.
Obviously, 311 has can be a little bit of delayed response because we prioritize emergencies first, 911 calls.
Sure.
And at that time of night, we do have less resources to go to.
Sure.
So if this
That's
group
the
is
problem.
out there, if this group is out there and they're being loud, obnoxious, disorderly, then call 911 and state that it's disorderly doing what they're doing, and we can get a quicker response.
Even if there's no address? That's the problem. I mean, I could use my address. They could hear it, but
Well, even if you give like in the vicinity, if you say Arlington, it's Holland Avenue, and the cops get there, they don't see anything, and it's disorderly group noise. Hopefully, they'll be able to hear and take some kind of enforcement
thanks
action.
very
Let's
much.
get them to move, break them up, and take enforcement action.
Thank you.
You got it, Joanne.
Okay. I think we should move on. All right. So thank you very much, Captain.
Have a good evening.
Okay. Report, Albert D'Angelo.
First, I want to thank the nominating committee for their work. They did a stellar job. Thank you guys for your work and the time and effort you put into this. The executive board, as soon as now that we have a new first vice chair, we'll be having our leadership meetings again. We're going to have an executive board meeting later on next week to discuss a proposed bylaw change about the equities committee to discuss that and see if that is something that we can use on our board. That's it, Jeremy, on you.
Let's see. Treasurer's report, Veronica.
The treasurer's report was emailed out to you. As noted in the email, it's a preliminary report. There are a couple of answers or inquiries that we didn't get answers on. But once I do receive those answers, I'll be sending out a finalized one to Jeremy and he'll distribute it through email.
Okay. Secretary's report, Hazel. Hazel, you still there?
I'm sorry, go ahead.
The secretary's report.
The June minutes were, I think, uploaded finally to the website, and I'm not sure what the procedure is. Remember, I'm new at this.
So there's a motion. So motion, what we always do is a motion to approve the June.
Okay. Okay, can we have a motion to approve June's minutes?
Well, so, yeah, if you're comfortable making the motion, somebody could just second it.
Oh, okay.
I second it, Jeremy.
Okay, so Hazel made a motion to approve the June 2020 full board meeting minutes as distributed, seconded by Strado? Any discussion? There's no discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Any?
Aye.
The best way to do this is, are there any against or any abstentions? No? Okay. Just, so thank you, Hazel, unless there's anything else. District manager's report. So I just got an email from the city that it was finally uploaded. You know, this highlights a good reason why last minute changes are not an easy thing to do. I know a member of the public wanted to know why they had to sign up to speak in the gallery as early as Monday, because the city, let me put my video on. Bear with me. And show my beautiful mug. I can figure it out. Okay, there we go. So my district's man.
Jeremy, you don't have enough bandwidth on your
There, it's
video.
just a matter of backtracking. Unfortunately, this summer.
Jeremy,
Otherwise, working from home, but there's not.
Jeremy, you should turn off the video. We can't hear you.
Yeah, I'm turning the video off.
turn
Sorry.
off the video.
Okay, is that better?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, I wanted, at least you saw me. So, district manager's report file upload to the September minutes website. Again, this is a good reason why. Please mute yourself if you're not talking to hear somebody typing. Please, everybody, mute yourself if you're not talking, please. I don't know how many times I have to say that. September district manager's report is finally online. I did email to the board. I'm sorry. I need to mute everybody because somebody keeps typing. And stay muted, please. Please. All right, I muted everybody. Hopefully you can all still hear me. Thumbs up if you can still hear me. Thank you. Okay. So, district manager's report online. June. I still haven't done that. Trust me, it's still on my mind. I still had it somewhere. Price gouging dispositions. There are 4 businesses that got price gouging violations and fines. Either a default fine, settlement fine. They got fines. 4 businesses for price gouging in relation to COVID, like hand sanitizer, gloves, masks. Office 311 policy. So it has always been the policy of the CB11 office that constituents must call 311. We used to make exceptions for board members. We would do it for them in many cases. We don't do that anymore. I discussed this with Al. If something requires you to call 311, I need you to do it first before contacting the office. We have a lot of people we assist. I'm not trying to push off work. I have more work that will last me well beyond my death. So 311 policy, everybody must do it. Race relations. So some people think I bring up race relations just to cause trouble. No, I do not. If you saw my announcement emails over the summer, 4 board members, I asked, you know, how do they feel about certain things being African American? And I wrote those responses. I am asking the police, law enforcement officials the same thing. Do you feel safe in this country? Because I'm sure many of them do not, right? I think the other day, 2 cops got shot in Louisville. So race relations, it's something we need to talk about. I think in many ways, it's about communication, getting out of this hole we're in. Solar energy systems. Some of you know I purchased a solar energy system for my own house last year, and I encourage other people to do it. There was a news article I saw this morning on social media about the warming of the earth. This is part of that strategy. It's a long-term investment. It's a short-term investment. It helps you save money if you can do it. If you're a homeowner, not everybody can do it. You got to be a property owner, homeowner. Discarded dog. We had somebody that threw their dog, possibly alive, into the garbage can by the community board at 11 office. Police were investigating. I don't know if they concluded their investigation. Didn't seem like too hopeful. Didn't seem like they could do much. But it's illegal to discard of a dead animal in a corner trash can, a public trash can. You can discard of an animal, such as a dog, in your household trash, but there's a proper way to do it. Transparency, CB11 website. Sometimes people like to complain about lack of transparency here. It happens to a degree, but I highly encourage any critic to look at other community board websites, please. I mean, we're not perfect, but we try. You know, I made Chris make the stupidest, minute changes to our website because I want it to be perfect. New interns. I sent out an email that we have two new interns. Well, we only have one currently. So that new intern will be 2 days a week, Thursdays and Wednesdays. So if you get a phone call from an intern, don't take offense. It's not me speaking to you. I can't do everything by myself. Parliamentarians of New York workshop. They had a couple of recommendations. All committees on their agenda should now put the review of the last meeting's minutes. It's a good way to recap. This is a recommendation for the parliamentarians of New York. You don't have. I think it might be a Robert Rules of Order, which is what we should be following if our bylaws don't explicitly state something. We can talk more about that. Anybody that wants to, committee chairs, when we do your agendas. Glendale Avenue Homeless Shelter. This is not my DM report because it's not much to discuss. It's just really to, there was a news article that told everybody that there was a second homeless shelter going on Glendale Avenue. No, there's only one. There's still only one proposal. There's a motion on the agenda regarding the original proposal. And then I think Al said we're having an executive board meeting. And that's nothing really from my DM report. It's just I plan on going to that meeting because I want to talk about some personnel issues that have come up over the summer. Okay. Unless anybody else needs to hear more from me, please don't. Let's save it for offline and move over to committee reports and the motions we have to vote on. Obviously, it's a long meeting already. David Levitt, are you there? Bylaws?
I'm here.
Do you mind taking over?
Sure.
Thank
So
you.
the bylaws committee met last month, and we considered three changes that were proposed at the June meeting. They are to rename the nominating committee to the Nominating and Elections Committee, to require board officer candidates to provide a written or oral statement to the community board at least 72 hours prior to each election stating why they are seeking the position. And third, to allow nominees for board officer positions to accept the nomination in writing within 10 working days of the nomination or in person at the April or May meeting. I'll attempt to make one motion to make all those changes and then open it for discussion or questions. So I make a motion to amend the bylaws for those changes. Are there any questions about the proposed changes?
David,
Yes.
Sandria, I would like you to put number 3 as a separate motion, please.
Okay. Fair enough. So I will amend the motion so that the first motion will be to rename the nominating committee to Nomination and Elections, and also included in that motion is that each board officer candidate who has to provide a written or oral statement at least 72 hours prior to each election. Is there any other discussion on making those changes? If not, then I will ask, is anybody abstaining or voting against those changes? If anybody is not abstaining and not voting against those first two changes, then we will consider the vote to be unanimous, that everybody is supporting those two changes. Last chance, if anybody wants to abstain or to vote against. Okay, so that brings us to the third change, which is to allow nominees for board officer position to accept the nomination in writing within 10 working days of the nomination or in person at the April or May meeting. Just to give a 2-sentence background on this, this was a change back to our original policy. We had this policy where you could accept in writing or in person, and then we changed it so that you could only accept in writing. So now we're changing it back so to give to a more liberal interpretation so that people have more of an opportunity to accept the nomination, either in writing or in person. Is there any discussion or questions about that motion?
Andrea.
Andrea, yeah.
Okay, I would like it to just be, you have to be in person, because I feel if you're nominated for a position, you should be there to accept the nomination, because if you can't attend the meeting when they're nominating, then how are we to know that you're going to attend other meetings? So I feel that the person being nominated should be at the meetings to accept, not put it in writing is not acceptable to me.
Okay, does anybody else feel strongly about that as part of the discussion, or we'll see if that carries the day on the vote, Andrea? Does anybody else want to be heard on this?
I'd like to say something. It's Joanne Rubino. I think in person doesn't take into account special circumstances. Like personally, I was with my family member in the hospital and ran back like a lunatic to come to the meeting, and it was such a hardship. And I think another nominee had another similar issue. So it was because of that I think that, there might be special circumstances, and that was pretty awful. So I just wanted to make that statement.
Yeah, I kind of agree with Joanne with that one. I'm not sure what the emphasis is to have making sure someone has to be there in person. If they have personal issues coming up, why should I disqualify them from being nominated? I'm not sure what the emphasis is to have someone there in person.
Oral, I feel that if you're not there at a meeting and you have personal issues, then who's to say you're not going to have personal issues for the other meetings?
You can't make that assumption.
Well, it goes both ways. It goes both ways.
That's not fair. You can't make that assumption.
Well, it's my opinion. I'm entitled.
Jeremy or David, can I say something?
Yes.
I think then it becomes up to the individual. Like if you think that person's not there, but his opponent is there, then vote for the opponent if you feel like he's not there. But we shouldn't require it.
So I just want to add to Joanne. What Joanne said, it was definitely 2 people. Last year we had Joanne and another person, both meetings, April and May, they couldn't be there physically for beyond their control. 2 people.
Also, I want to just add one thing in regards to Andrea's concern. Our board usually publishes attendance of people, right? And so if there's like a circumstance that doesn't allow someone to attend a particular meeting, I mean, we were in the middle of a pandemic this year, so those are very legitimate excuses, or whatever is going on in a person's life. If you have a concern about their track record, it is public and we know who come and doesn't come. And so I don't think that one meeting should determine, should disqualify a person from being nominated. I think we should just, keep in mind that these records are public and that we can refer to them if that's a concern of ours.
Agreed. I agree. I don't think we should hang on too hard on the verbiage. I think we should accept it the way it is, and go from there. In my honest opinion.
Is there any other discussion on this? If not, then I will call for a vote, and I will ask if anybody abstaining from the vote. No abstentions. Is anybody voting against this motion?
So your motion hasn't changed, right, David? It's the same. It's the
The
same
motion,
language. It's the same
the
language,
motion
right?
has not changed. I'll read it one more time.
Yeah.
The motion is to
Thank you.
allow nominees for board officer positions to accept the nomination in writing within 10 working days of the nomination or in person at the April or May full board meeting. So is anybody voting against this motion? Andrea?
I have a question, David. This is Joe Menta. Is it possible, and maybe the question's for Jeremy, that we can post this actual motion on this call so we can all read it?
It's on the
Yeah.
full board agenda. It's on the board's website.
Let me share it,
Okay.
David.
Yeah, I'm just saying if we can share it here.
Jeremy, can you share?
Drop the link to the agenda into the chat box.
Okay, I can copy it into the chat box, I think.
Well, we see it now.
And David, do you have to state March or May in there? What if we have a situation like COVID where it might be September?
That's a good point.
It's like this.
Well, the reason it's written that way is because our elections are in. Can you mute if you're not speaking? It's very difficult to speak.
I'm gonna mute everybody. Bear with me. Oh, hey, go ahead, David. Unmute yourself.
So the reason it's written that way is because our elections are held in June. And we had this discussion, in last May or June, I think it was April, May, and June that we had this discussion, whether or not we could change the elections to a different month. And we really can't because the bylaws have it locked in there. So to allow people to accept in earlier months really, or later months, doesn't really work out because the elections are fixed in June, which is why.
Change anything. Yeah, exactly.
So that's why it's written that way.
So it does say or in person. It says either in writing within 10 days or in person. So you have the option, yes?
Yes, correct.
So then that should just put to rest the issue of being in person.
I would think so, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get back to the voting. As I understand it, nobody's abstaining. So the next category is anybody voting against this motion. Andrea, are you voting against it? Andrea?
No, I'm not.
Okay, so then unless anybody objects now, we're going to mark this down as being unanimous, that everybody is voting in favor of this motion.
Nobody's voting against it, but are they abstaining?
Oh, I asked if anybody was abstaining and there were no abstentions. I'll ask
Oh,
again.
I'm sorry.
But I'll ask again, is anybody abstaining from the vote?
Excuse me, I'm sorry. Can you just hold on for a second? Because Debbie just wrote on the chat box that she's not able to vote because she's muted.
She right if she's abstaining or against?
Oh.
Okay, I just asked, and I'm waiting for a response.
I mean, we can always, if she says she's abstaining or against, then we can change that later. But until then, I would just say it's officially unanimous. Just to move on.
I'll just give one last call. Does anybody want to vote against this motion or to abstain? Hearing none, we'll mark it down as unanimous. If anybody has any issues that they were not able to vote because they couldn't unmute themselves, then they should let Jeremy know, and we'll adjust the vote accordingly. That concludes the report of the Bylaws Committee. Thank you.
Thank you, David. Okay. Ethics and Disciplinary Committee. Yahya Obid. Hey, you
Hi,
there?
we do have a motion, but we would have to move it into executive session. So, or we have the discussion in executive session. Do you want to skip me and then we'll come back later?
Well, so you want to move your motion. Let me share the screen for people who don't have the agenda.
Yeah, can you explain that? I mean, Yahya, what does this motion mean? Motion to require New York City Learning and Development Diversity Training for a community board 11 member? Is it one particular person? Is it one particular person?
Yes, and that's why we would have to have that discussion in executive session.
Got you.
I mean, I can give you the.
No, it's okay. Understood. It's okay.
Yeah, I'll discuss the other thing, which is the complaint form. We did have some concerns about the complaint form, that it did not have enough details or did not have the process or the procedures for filing a complaint. I'm working with Jeremy to get that updated. I'm not sure if he's probably in the final stages of updating that. We called it, he didn't call the motion to amend the form, but then we figured it did not require a motion to change the form, that we can just change it. So we're just going to do the edits.
I have a question. In regards to requiring like the diversity training for like the one community board member, is this something that can be open for like all of us, like as a community board, just so it's like something that's covered for everyone, so it's not like a individual type of issue?
Yeah, we would have to, I can explain that in the executive session.
Okay, cool.
Great.
Jeremy, why don't we just move that to the end?
No, let's not, because I'm not sitting till 11 o'clock at night.
So then you have to send everybody away, and all the people that are on standby are gonna have to wait.
I hear you with that one. Don't stay.
Let them wait.
We're here to serve the public. Last time I looked.
We're all in the comfort of our homes. We have nowhere to go to.
Christian, can you please?
Working late. Maybe I'm working late.
Yes, Christian, I've been working from 8 this morning. I have a show that's gonna last till 11 tonight, and I've been on this hole from 6:30. So you can't say we have nowhere to go because we're in the comfort of our home, because I'm very tired right now.
All right, that's you, and that's fine on a case-by-case exception. I think that's okay, but I don't see the need to offboard the members of the community who are in this meeting now, when the rest of us can stick around till the end and have this discussion. You and your prior commitments, notwithstanding.
I respect you. I respect that.
It's okay.
Why don't we take some time and move this meeting along a little quicker? And maybe we can get everything in and people can go to sleep.
On mute. If you're trying to say something, Jeremy, you're muted. We haven't heard you in a couple of minutes.
He had to go to the bathroom.
How about taking away the, okay, now it came back. You know, I'd like to just say something to Christian. Christian, there are people that probably have not eaten dinner. There are people that came right from work. So yes, we might be in our home, but it's really wrong to always assume that they can stay there. Maybe they have to eat. Maybe it's a necessity. So it's unfair.
Your comment is noted. I ate before the meeting.
Okay, so to stop the back and forth, can everybody hear me?
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna move off the agenda until somebody makes a motion. We got other motions to vote on. For example, Health and Social Services, which I think is your committee, Sandy. I think because Joe, I mean, I can tap Joe in, or do you want to do it, Sandy? Really up to you.
No, we just had the meeting with the various people, right, about the shelter and whatever.
Yeah, so do you want me to turn it over to Joe, or do you want to do
Turn
it?
Turn it over to Joe.
Joe, can you talk?
Is he
Joe
there?
Bako. Chris, which one is Joe Bako? Is he 4 or 5?
I thought he was 4.
I thought so too, and I unmuted him, so I don't know what's going on there. So
He's number
Sandy,
4.
he's 4? Sandy, or Chris, he's number 4?
Yes.
Chris.
Yes, he's number 4.
All right, Sandy, he's not answering. I need you to take over.
All righty. Well, there were special meetings, in August. We met with some politicians and whatever to discuss the homeless shelter. And we're just waiting. We really didn't come to any conclusion because we didn't get any answers, really. Am I correct, Jeremy?
So, well, we made a motion to send written correspondence to the city and others, like our elected officials. We can share this. What's that?
I said, was it done? Because
Well, the board didn't vote on it, so, I mean,
that's what we have to do then. Ask the
yeah,
board to vote on it.
that's the motion for tonight.
All
So
right.
I can share my screen for people who can't look at the agenda. Hopefully there won't be hopefully some things don't go as haywire with my.
All right, but the idea is we met and you can see that with this shelter that's supposedly going to come to Blondell Avenue, we've made several suggestions and you could see them from senior housing, a combination of senior, citizen, and affordable housing, or a shelter for homeless families, not a shelter for men only.
So this was voted on committee.
I was gonna say, make the motion, Sandy, so we can vote on it and move on.
I'm saying I would like to make a motion that Community Board 11, along with Community Board 10, send letters and give our recommendations for the homeless shelter. We are not in favor of a men's homeless shelter, and these are the 3 ideas that we would like to see happen.
So the motion,
I second.
so you don't have to second. It was voted on committee. It's open for discussion.
Is there anyone who disagrees with what we're saying?
I have a question. Why are we opposed to it?
Well, we didn't, first of all, of where it's situated, wasn't it also near a school, not far from a school? We would rather, we would rather have senior housing or a combination of senior or affordable, or if we have to have a homeless shelter, that it be for families, not for just homeless men. And this, we were in conjunction with Community Board 10, because the area literally is in both districts, or near both districts.
Well, I still question if a homeless shelter is being proposed for our community that currently houses 0. Why is, like, if you have if the committee had an opposition to it being a men's only, why is it the priority for a family homeless shelter number 4 versus number 1? Because I mean, homelessness is a real serious issue right now, and with the pandemic, it has been exacerbated. So I just don't think I don't personally oppose to one being located in our community and also, our community playing its part.
Jeremy, what is the statistic of homeless shelters / dwellings / homes in Community Board 11?
Supposedly they removed all of ours.
Say again?
Supposedly they removed all of ours. Now, this is, so let's be clear on, I have to have
What's that noise?
Okay. So, so this is Department of Homeless Services. This is not HRA, which does AIDS patients or does domestic violence people that, because those people become homeless too or find themselves in homelessness situations. This is just purely homeless, maybe because the person has maybe a mental illness or there's no specified reason like domestic violence. Supposedly the city has removed all of ours. We have no private dwelling ones. There could be plenty of programs through the State Department of Health, through, again, the City Human Resources Administration, which does AIDS shelters for AIDS patients and domestic violence victims. This is just purely Department of Homeless Services.
I actually took a continuing legal education on that like recently, and they converted, I forget how many hotels into homeless, like transient homeless shelters. And I don't know if you guys are familiar, but those areas have been negatively affected. So, I don't know. I mean, it's worth, I guess, going to areas where homeless shelters for men only do exist. There was one open near my high school a few years ago, and in there on like Nereid Avenue area, and everyone was opposed to it, and people moved out. So.
Any other discussion?
Yeah, Jeremy, I mean, I just want to counter to say that a lot of the areas that have pre-existing shelters, for example, like Community Board 6 and 7, have quite a lot of homeless shelters in that area. And you've noticed a lot of issues with economic disparity, problems for small businesses. Issues when it comes to just quality of life and safety in those communities. And I don't think that it's our responsibility as a community board to ignore those demands and, further hurt an area that's already overwhelmed by shelters. We've known for quite a few years that the mayor had a plan to put a shelter in CB11. We knew for quite a few years that there was a zoning issue with Blondell Commons. And, I think that at this point, there's not much we can do. We're going to have to, at some point, accept a shelter. And I agree with Natalie, the exacerbating effects of the pandemic have forced us to sort of adapt to this environment. And I just want to put that on the record.
Okay. So the only thing, unless there's anyone else, I would say, yeah, it would be helpful to just clearly state what we're against. I think that would be helpful for whatever I do send. So other than that, let's vote.
Hey, Jeremy, it's Lisa. Where exactly on Blondell Avenue is this? Is it where all the auto shops are?
Yes. Yeah, you're really coming in badly, but yes, I heard you. Yes, it's 1364 to 1400 block. I forget what the cross street is, but it's between it's like almost in the middle of the block between Westchester Avenue and Eastchester Road.
Think.
Okay.
Think.
Any other questions, discussion? So let me back up. So everybody That's not it. In correspondence to the City of New York, our elected officials and Community Board 10 asking for the proposed men-only homeless shelter on Blonde Avenue be instead converted to number 1, senior housing, 2, a combination of senior housing, affordable housing, number 3, affordable housing, a homeless shelter. Anybody against or abstaining for the motion?
I'm against. Natalie.
So
Christian Otto against.
So was that April? I didn't hear who was the other person.
I was saying it's not something I could vote on right now because it just seems a little biased to me. I don't know.
All right, so
Jeremy,
Christian,
I'm against.
so Christian, Darrell, and Natalie are against.
I abstain.
And then 2 abstentions, 1 from Junior, 1 from April.
I also abstain from it. Paula Clear.
So that's okay. So 3 abstentions, 2 against, or 3 against.
Lisa's against. Lisa, I'm against also.
Jeremy, I against it too.
So that's,
Daisy against.
all right, Harriet. Let me.
I'm abstaining.
We need to state again who's voting against and who's
We need
voting
roll
abstain.
call, I think we need roll call. Make it easier. It's just easier versus trying. Is that okay with everybody?
Yes, yes.
Okay. By last name, starting with A, LJUC. She's still in the
Just
meeting.
repeat, yeah, can you just repeat what exactly we're voting on? Because everyone's cutting in and out, so I didn't really
Yeah,
understand.
I'm sharing my screen still, right?
Yes.
Okay. The motion is to send to the City of New York, our elected officials, and Community Board 10 asking for the proposed men-only homeless shelter on Blondell Avenue be instead converted to senior citizen housing, combination of senior citizen and affordable housing, or a homeless shelter for families. So basically, no men's shelter, one of these 4 things instead. Is that clear enough for everybody? Can everybody stop typing who's talking? Is that clear, Tasneem?
I agree.
Okay, I'm just gonna use this elections ballot thing that I was doing. Tasneem, for the motion, against or abstain?
Jeremy, quick question for you.
Yes.
Okay, if I want the letter to be written a different way, just abstain from it? Because if you move homeless shelter for families to number 1, I like that better. But
Oral. Can I talk, Jeremy? Okay. It was just listed. The way it's listed or the order can be changed. And Oral, you made a good point. Yes, you could put the homeless shelters for families as number 1. We just, they were just rattling off, and that's how it came out. So the numbers can be changed, or the order can be changed.
okay, thanks.
Or a combination of all. The other thing is, or a combination of, the order. You could combine, say, affordable housing with some homeless shelters for families. So that could be done also.
No.
You can't? You don't think so?
Jeremy, this is Chris. Can you also mention it that this shelter or whatever you guys are proposing, it's exactly 1 block away from Waters Place, that we're already having a lot of issues over there, especially with methadone clinic. So if you put a combination of everything, then that's going to be a war zone. And should everybody know, excuse me, everybody should know that the people that live around there, that there are houses over there, private houses, are completely against it. And also all the merchants that are in Westchester Square are against it. So the only thing, that's why the motion was brought up this way, giving priority to senior citizen housing due to the fact that we don't have that in our district. And that's why it was prioritized from 1 to 4. but it's up to you guys.
Can I say something, Jeremy? I said,
Yeah, April, shoot.
yeah, because I have to leave pretty soon. But I was saying that someone said that there's a methadone clinic over there, and to put an all-men shelter there with a methadone clinic is going to be bad. But we want to put seniors there with the methadone clinic there. So I'm a little confused because are we going against it because it's all men? Because we cannot judge people today because all these noise we're hearing, half of these people don't live in our community, but they're still in our community. So is it where you put the homeless shelter or where the people are going to hang out eventually? So if you put it downtown, they come to the Bronx, and homelessness is homelessness. And if they have a need for men, for a men's shelter, I really don't understand the fight. And I'm not against anything. I just need to understand things more before I make decisions.
Yeah, well, I have I work for the city, so I survey shelters. And I've surveyed families, shelters that are just for women, shelters that are for families, and shelters that are for all men. And there's a big difference.
Can you explain the
Can you
difference?
elaborate? Yeah, can you elaborate what the difference is, since you actually are the only one here who can actually?
Yeah, like, I mean,
Yeah.
there's a men's shelter in I think it's in the Bronx. I forget what area it's in. It's just that there's a lot of, I don't want to get political about this thing, but there's a lot of mental health issues that need to be addressed with male shelters. And I don't think that the city really puts enough effort into addressing those issues with male issues that happen.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of abuse, there's a lot of violence. It happens because you're talking about male with testosterone, right?
Yeah.
So there is an issue with, I have to say, with male homelessness. And a lot of it has to do, to me, when I see it, is they need a lot of mental health. And to me, families usually are mothers who have been kicked out, can't afford rent, and they're with their children, and they're really trying to make ends meet. And so they have a different mindset when I see them. And they tend to want to try to, because they have a family, and even the male who are married, they don't have a job, they're not here legally. There's a lot of issues that are going on there, but the emphasis is try to keep the family together and try to really make ends meet. And you see the difference in there. And then you have families that are mothers who they don't have the same male and female, they're just naturally different. I mean, they're just naturally different. So like I grew up in the Bronx. I was part of gangs growing up. So I know the difference between males' attitudes and female attitudes. It's just a way life is. And I think that the New York City really has to more in addressing mental health issues with males, especially males. I think so. So when I survey these buildings, I see a difference. And I think that once you get more counseling done, I see the ones that are really effective have a lot of counseling, have a lot of things to help males because, and even issues with ADHD, attention deficit, hypertension issues that happen, and these are the kind of things that really need to be addressed. So I don't know. I have to see what type of shelter this is going to happen. What kind of resources they have for the males that are going there, if they have resources. And I know the ones that don't tend not to do very well. They don't do very well.
Thank you.
That's
I'm
why
glad
I'm
you.
trying to figure stuff out.
Yes, and
It's
like I
Hazel.
said,
Can I?
Hazel, I'm gonna leave. I thank you so much for being a little clear, and that's why I say I cannot vote against something that I'm not clear about. I cannot do that because I understand exactly what Oral was saying. It's a big problem for me that I'm dealing with, in the community that I see need to be addressed. So if if they have a need for a male homeless shelter, then maybe we need to look into it more before we say, no, don't bring it here. Because you have to understand, as he say, what's going on with mental illness, and look at the streets that we're living in and watch what's going on with the male. It is sad, and for me to even speak about it right now is very emotional. Jeremy, I have to leave. I have a show starting in less than 10 minutes.
Yeah,
thank you,
it's a very
Thank
sad
you so
issue.
much.
Very sad issue, but
One of the things I want to bring up, Jeremy, one of the things I want to bring up is about 2 years ago, we were warned that we were going to get homeless shelters in the community, which is not a bad thing. Mark Jonah told us to find an area that would be conducive to a homeless shelter, that wouldn't impact the community, to it be detrimental to areas of the community where schools were available and things like that. We didn't do our homework. The people of that area did not want I think at first it was low-cost housing. They wanted us to fight against the low-cost housing. They didn't want it in their community. And at that time, I believe Mark told us that, if you don't put it in low-cost housing, you're going to end up with a homeless shelter here. He did give us the opportunity to look around the community and find a place where a homeless shelter would be. In other words, that there would be infrastructure that would be able to handle a group of homeless people coming into the community. As Oral pointed out, you need, mental health care. You need schools. You need transportation. All big things. And I guess we didn't do our homework, because we should have found something that was, would have all these things come into play so that these people could be helped.
Hey, Hazel's been wanting to say something. Hazel?
Yeah, thank you very much. First of all, we do have senior housing in this community. Beth Abraham has a couple of 202 senior housing buildings around where I live. We do have a NYCHA building on Boston Road. So we do have senior housing. And, a lot of people have been out of work since March. And even though there is a moratorium on evictions right now, it's set to expire on October 1st if it's not extended. So we are going to have a big problem with homelessness. That being said, we do have affordable housing being built in this community. In case you don't know, there's one was built right next door to my building, and another one's going across the street, and probably another one on Bronx Park East. Oh, and affordable housing really isn't affordable anyway. So we are going to have people that are going to be losing their apartments because they have been out of work. They have no resources out there for them. And we are going to have a lot of families that are going to be facing eviction. So we do have to have a shelter. It's being rammed down everybody's throat, whether we like it or not. I don't think the senior housing is going to work because we already have that. And I really truly feel that homeless shelter for families is something that we can look into, or at least accept, because we're going to have to anyway. A lot of families from our community are going to be facing eviction, and it would be great if they could at least find a place within their community that they can live in until they can get back on their feet.
Yeah, you see it in the news nowadays. You can watch the news and you see families being pulled out of their apartments with their kids and all their belongings and told to leave because they can't.
It's going to happen sooner or later.
Happening.
It's going to happen.
So
Can I say
this, Charles?
Okay, as far as Oral was saying, with the mental health, as a matter of fact, right now I've been helping several men in Manhattan, in Harlem, in Queens, and it's horrible how men are being taken advantage of, because if they don't have an advocate, which I'm advocating and I'm not getting paid to do it, but I'm doing it anyway, it's a sin how people are going through all of these issues with their apartments, with these landlords, with just getting the appropriate size apartment that they put their they're supposed to be getting, and then they do the flip-flop and they give it to somebody else who they claim that they want to give it to because a single man that has nothing to do with him not being able to get a 1-bedroom apartment that he should be getting to accommodate his needs. So even if they're going to be having some mental, issues or some type of building that is going to accommodate these men, these homeless men or men, period, or even women, because they're out there. I got assaulted by one, and it's a sin that they're out there and they're allowing them to be out there and do this. So we need to do something, and we need to be in there to make sure that the services are being rendered to what they're supposed to be servicing these people for and with. That's the main thing, is to get them to make sure these people that are doing their job, they're supposed to be assisting them and doing what they're supposed to do, and they're not doing that. So that's what needs to be put in place as well.
So let me throw something in. I don't want to throw a monkey wrench into all this, but I want you to be prepared for the comeback from the city. So the city will say, well, we're putting in a full service homeless shelter here where we will have medical we will have services provided on site that are not only just for the homeless, but that are open to the community. That's what they're proposing here. That's the type of shelter that is operating on Jerome Avenue. So I don't know if Oral or anybody else would want to respond to that, but they are looking to be a full service site.
Jeremy, can I say something?
Yes, Joanne hasn't said anything yet. Yeah, Joanne.
I thought that when we were having the meeting, the health meeting, it was medical services were going to be supplied, but not necessarily. Is very bad at providing those services. They will put it in a wonderful, beautiful proposal, and then nothing happens. So it's like we're at the mercy of something that won't be done. That basically we're done. We know it because of the history of all the homeless shelters, that these poor men are not getting services, and Pat Charles is giving her, she's volunteering and all this stuff because there's a need, and it's really sad. And then that's all I have to say, that it's really, the city does not do a good job.
Joanne, if I may intercede, remember this was supposed to be set up. The building was going to be created by a company or another group, and they were going to have this medical center, or clinic, that was supposed to serve these men and also serve the community. But you could say whatever you want, but it's not, they're not going to do what they say, because the reports of what they've done in the past have not lived up to what they said they were going to do.
Jeremy, can I put in a point of information on the property?
They're going by the statistics of downtown Manhattan, where they have different services down there, to comparing to where we are up here and not getting those type of services. They can't I'm not saying they can't, but it's going to be hard for them to have the same success rate of what they have in Manhattan, where they have different situations going on compared to what we have up here. You should see 3rd Avenue, Lexington Avenue, Harlem. It's a wreck down there. So if it comes up here, it's going to be even worse than that.
Be a wreck.
That's what I was saying, Jeremy. It depends. I mean, the ones that get the services work, like I said before. If you don't get it, it gets very difficult.
Right, but what if I may say so? They said, or in the report, that they were going to have these services available. And if I'm not mistaken, it was supposed to be 24/7.
So either way, this will be a sticking point for us. Whether you're for the shelter, against it, I think everybody can agree that we want to make sure that these people, if they come to the homeless population comes to this area, we want the city to, at this point. Did you ever hear me?
Sure.
Jeremy, maybe we should put in that they would have to be responsible, if there is a shelter, for the medical part of it also.
Well, I mean,
You can't put that in the letter.
You can't put stipulations in a letter like that.
Yeah, we have the motion. Let's vote on the motion and move on. And then we'll work on what the city's gonna do what they want anyway, so as much talk as we do now, they're gonna come up with what they want, and that's the way it's gonna be.
Right. So hopefully everyone can see my screen. So we're doing roll call. Then we need the motion again. Are we clear on the motion at this point? The motion is to propose something else of the men's only homeless shelter. Oh, well, it doesn't matter, doesn't it? I mean, for some people it doesn't matter. Some people it does.
It doesn't matter.
Take the vote, Jeremy.
Okay. So are you in favor of trying to get something other than men's homeless shelter? Yes? You're for it? Against? Or abstain? Tasneem?
Yes.
Christian? Christian Amato? Christian, I'm looking at you.
Either you're cutting in and out, it's hard to hear you, but I'm against.
My Wi-Fi sucks, and I heard people are tired of me hearing that.
It's okay. I'm against.
Okay, let me stop sharing my screen. That might help. That will help, hopefully. Okay, Christian is against. Valerie Babb. For the motion, against it, or abstain? Valerie Babb. Okay. I don't know if Joe Bicote is still back in the meeting. Have to jump through hoops to get to him. Bear with me.
Jeremy, go down the list and come back to the ones that you missed.
Okay, Joseph Bicote. Can you hear me? Joseph Bicote.
Oh, come on.
What's that?
Move on.
He's unmuted, so he's not there. Okay. Okay. Edith Blitzer. Darrell Bohan.
No.
Against?
Yeah.
Junior Campbell. Veronica Castro.
Yes.
I'm going. Veronica is for it, right?
Yes, she said.
Okay. I'm going by last name. So we're on C's right now. So be prepared to unmute yourself, please. Pat Charles. Patricia Charles. Paula Creary.
Against?
Mr. D'Angelo.
Yes, in favor.
April left. Rabbi Fuchs. And Galnick. Deborah Kowalik. I think she's against. Somebody texted me. David Love.
For.
Natalie Mina.
Against.
Jeremy.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
this is Debbie.
Yes.
Yeah, when I said against, I was against a men's shelter. If it's a letter to have
So you're for
families
the motion.
or senior, when I'm for.
Okay, yes, you're for it. Yes, for. Yes or for means you want something other than men's shelter. Joseph Menta.
Yes.
Hazel Mira. For?
For the letter.
Okay. Yahya Obeid.
For the motion?
Brad O'Purdom. Shredhead Purdom.
Yes.
Ollie Rodriguez.
Against.
So you want the men's shelter, or you're not necessarily, okay, not, I don't want to say that because it's not exactly what you mean, maybe. Okay. Daisy. Daisy. Joanne Rubino.
Yes.
So, okay, yes, for the motion or against the motion or abstention. That's what I meant. Sorry, Ellie. Oral Rodriguez, Oral Selfridge. Oral.
Yeah, I am for the motion.
Okay. Katie Scraley.
For the motion.
Ken Siegel. Lisa Soto.
Against the motion.
Joanne Fairlodge. Joseph Thompson. Sandra Unger.
For.
Chris Walcott.
For the motion.
What's that?
For the motion.
For the motion. Brano, I think, left. And I don't think anybody else is here. Daisy Rodriguez texted me. I don't know what she said, though. She's against. Silvio Mazzella's in the meeting. Does anyone know how he's voting? Al? Or can he unmute himself? And
Jeremy, Joe would vote for the letter.
Joseph Baycott is for.
Yeah.
Edith Blitzer. Valerie Babb. Junior Campbell. I'm still waiting to hear from you. If you're there, please let somebody know as soon as possible. Patricia Charles. What's that?
Against.
Junior Campbell is against the motion. Patricia Charles.
I said I was for the motion.
She's for the motion. Gabriel left. Rabbi Ken Galnick. Galley Babb. Edith Blitzer. Joanne Terlange. Joe Thompson. Is any of these people still in the meeting? Anyway, check.
Silvio is for the motion.
Joe Thompson is still showing.
Let me.
Joe Thompson is still in the meeting.
Okay, hold on. I got to put in Silvio because Silvio, I'm using the election results. Silvio did email me how he wanted to vote, but I don't know if he was in the meeting at the time of roll call. I have no idea.
He's he's in the meeting. He's here. He can hear you.
No, I know he's in the meeting. No, I got that. Now the question is Joe Thompson. I'm just letting you know that for the election ballot.
Answer the call.
Hold on. I will unmute Joe Thompson if he's muted.
Okay, let me tell him yes then.
Joe Thompson, are you for the motion or against it?
Well, no, they proposed something that say yes. Let me tell her. I know what you're talking about. You don't want to shelter. You want.
I'm against the motion.
Joe Thompson is against the motion.
I'm against the motion.
Okay. Keith Ramsey, also, he was somebody that was in the meeting but didn't answer for roll call. So Charles said he was trying to get in. That's why I didn't call his name. Keith, how do you vote? Can you unmute yourself?
Yep.
How are you voting?
Against.
Okay.
Okay.
Unless anybody else is in the meeting, Joanne Terlange.
Joanne just said yes. She just come out of the meeting, but she said to tell you yes.
She's voting for the motion.
For the motion.
Okay. Final call on Ken Gelnick, Rabbi, Edith, Valerie Babb. Let me sort this. Hold on. The motion carries. We have 10 against. The rest are in favor. All right?
All right.
Okay. All right, so let me go back to the agenda. Transportation Committee. Daisy, are you able to talk or unmute yourself? If not, let me know and I'll do my best to unmute you.
Can you hear me? Can you hear
Yes.
me? Oh,
Yes.
so the agenda doesn't have a motion that we would like to bring forward to the board. Wondering if I can do that?
So let me just clarify. No, after I typed up the agenda and sent it out, nobody notified me that I was missing it. So, what was the motion in committee, Daisy?
It was a street co-naming on Lydig Avenue and Holland Avenue for Joe Chiotti, who was the owner from John and Joe's Pizzeria.
Now, which corner is this? Because one corner is already Mother Teresa Way. It can't be the same
It's the
corner.
same corner.
But is it for Holland? Is it the Holland side or is it it should be the Holland side, right?
The store is on the corner of Holland and Leidig.
Yes, that I understand. Mother Teresa Way is on Leidig, so this would be for Holland?
Debbie, can you clarify?
It's right on the corner.
Okay, but there are two street sides per corner.
Can we let Debbie clarify, please?
Hold on, everybody. Everybody's muted. Debbie, go ahead. Debbie has the floor.
Yes. Mother Teresa is on Leidig, so we want Holland to be named after Joe.
And just so everybody knows who Joe is or was, was the owner of John and Joe's. Debbie or anybody else?
Yes.
Correct.
Yes, correct.
He passed away this year or last year. I don't remember.
This year.
Okay.
From what I
Earlier
understand, he's been there for years, and he hired a lot of young people from the neighborhood. He was always a very community-minded guy.
Been a staple in the community for sure.
Yeah, the pizza place has been there for over 30 years.
Okay. Anybody else? Chris, I think you tried to say something, but maybe it was already covered. Anybody else?
Joe Thompson. Yeah, he supported the Pelham Parkway Little League for over 20 years, making yearly contributions.
Okay. So this was voted on in committee, right, Daisy?
Yes.
And it passed, right?
Unanimously, yes.
Okay. So I don't know if there's really any objection to us voting now tonight. If anybody has an opinion, I know Tom McCaney is in the meeting and he's usually one of our experts. We have David here, who's usually one of our experts. So then I would say there's a motion live on the floor. No? So because the committee voted on it, it doesn't need to be made again and seconded. This was voted on committee. It's passed unanimously, and this is to rename Holland Avenue at the corner of Leidig and Holland. This is the northwest corner. Any discussion? Any all in favor? Any objections or abstentions? Or against or abstentions?
This is Natalie. I abstain. I don't know who this person is.
Does anybody need further clarification? Okay, 2 abstentions.
I abstain as well.
Who was that, Paula?
Yes.
Okay. So 3 abstentions. Any others? If not that, it passes. Daisy?
Great, thank you.
Okay. So that conclude the Transportation Committee?
That concludes. All the rest are the notes in the minutes that can be seen.
Okay. So then we'll turn it over to Community Development. Andrea Siegel.
Okay, we held our first meeting of this year on September 9th. The minutes have been uploaded to the website, and we decided we're going to have a public hearing on October 14th to go over the budget for 2022.
Did everybody hear that? Because my audio cut out. Did everybody hear that? Andrea?
I could hear.
Yeah,
Okay.
you heard it.
Right.
Perfect. All right, so then we'll move on to Nominating Committee. We already had the results. But unless there's anything else, 80, just turn it to Public Safety.
Yeah. There's nothing else. Thank you.
Okay. So Public Safety, Yahe Obi.
Yep, we did meet. Everything's in the minutes. If you have any questions, you can let me know after the meeting.
Okay, and then we'll turn over to Gallery. We have 3 Galley session speakers. Hopefully they're still in the meeting. Bear with me. Let me find them. Please, everybody mute yourselves. I hear a lot of background noise. Still hear background noise?
I don't hear any background noise now.
Well, because maybe it's yours. So if you can mute yourself, please do. Amelia?
Yes, hi, I'm surviving.
Yes, hold on. Before we begin, I'm muting you. If somebody wants to put Sergeant Arms and time her for 2 minutes, remember that's what we have for the agenda. 2 minutes, uninterrupted speaking time, and then 4 questions at most or statements by board members. Who would like to time her? Can somebody else do it besides me? Anyone? Please. Frano.
I can time.
You got it, Christian?
Yes.
Thank you very much. All right, Camelia, go.
Yes, hi, I'm Camelia Tapelus, Executive Director for the Morris Park Bids. Thank you all for allowing us a space to speak here. I just wanted to say that the bid on Morris Park Avenue was featured in an article in the Wall Street Journal this Sunday, highlighting our work and our appreciation for the community supporting our local businesses through this very trying time. We received very good feedback from the community on our sanitation program. We will start this fall horticulture program that will mulch and aerate over 100 tree pits on Morris Park Avenue. But my really big news of the day is that we obtained a 3-year grant from New York City Department of Small Business Services called Avenue NYC. And the first year of this project, we need to conduct a big research study called a commercial needs assessment study. And in this capacity, we will reach out to several of you for information and support and input so that we create a report that truly conveys the views of the community, of nonprofit organizations, community organizations, along with the merchants. We were also able to hire a full-time staff member, which is a local resident, Omesh Persod. He was feeling a little bit under the weather, so he resisted the first 1 hour and 45 minutes of this, but then he emailed me that he's collapsing, so I sent him to bed. But we will introduce him at the next economic development meeting, and we look forward to hear your thoughts and suggestions about what Morris Park, how you would like to see further development on Morris Park Avenue. We are open to any questions anybody may have for the Morris Park bid.
Thank you, and that's 2 minutes.
Perfect. Okay, unless you have anything, we'll move on. Thank you very much, Camelia.
Thank you.
Okay, our next gallery session speaker is Annie Martinez. Hopefully he's still in the meeting. I know Frances came from the public library. I don't know if she's covering for him. I don't know if she's still here. I don't know if anybody called in. If you called in, you got to let me know somehow. If not, we'll move on to our next gallery session speaker. Roxanne Elgato. I'm going to tap on her. Tell me when you're ready, Christian.
I'm ready.
Okay, Roxanne. Hold on. Hold on. Roxanne, can you hear us?
Yes.
Okay, you're on. Go.
May I have a 30-second warning before the 2-minute cutoff?
Absolutely. I'll start your time once you start speaking too.
Thank you so much. I'd like to first express my disappointment at the executive elections because I feel like when you have uncontested elections with no opponents, it makes no sense of having an election. And not to mention that there's not one Black or brown person on the executive board, not one Black or Latino, which is shameful because the community is over majority Black and Latino demographics. I don't have anything against Yahweh, but I don't know if a Muslim Trump supporter is reflective of the community, but that's just my opinion. So again, I hope going forward we will have more choice. There will be more opponents and will be more reflective of the community at large. Now regarding the executive session, I sent an email to Yahweh. My complaint towards this unnamed community board member was regarding stereotypical remark directed at Latinos. Nowhere does that complaint fall in any of the 8 subject areas that falls under the open meetings law under executive sessions. So I don't know why you're going into executive sessions when none of those 8 subject areas applies to my complaint. So I will formally on the record object to you going to executive session on addressing my complaint towards this unnamed community board member. Now regarding my complaint regarding the community board per open meetings law, minutes or a record shall be taken of all open meetings of the public and minutes or records available to the public within 2 weeks from date of meeting. Lack of compliance to the open meeting law in regards to minutes has been an issue even before the pandemic. In some regards,
30 seconds.
Were missing for over a year, and until I made a formal complaint, those minutes were posted yet and still not available to the public. In short, we have an issue with minutes. You're not in compliance with the open meeting law regarding minutes. That's it, because my time ran out. But I hope the chair, Angelo, responds to my email, puts this on the agenda, because this will never be addressed as long as I have less than 2 minutes to just voice my complaint. Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you, and that's time.
Jeremy,
Thank you. Yes, Sandy.
I just want to say, isn't Veronica Castro a Latina? And she is the treasurer.
That's up for her to determine. I mean,
Yes, I am.
So therefore, you know, let Roxanne know that.
Okay. I mean, we do have other.
So am I. I'm a Puerto Rican.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Hazel. Great.
Okay. So
We have to set the record straight. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Andy. Unless there's anything else, the other gallery session speaker did email me that they had to drop out because obviously, they had something to do. So let's move on to the electives. Let me just pull up the list. Of course, I shouldn't forget it starts with the Borough President's office. Bear with me. I got to find Tom. He's in the meeting. Thomas Lucania from the Borough President's office. Christian, we normally time these people too, but
Great.
Go ahead, Tom.
When you start speaking, I'll start timing you.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for your participation this evening. Again, I know it's a long night for everybody, but thank you for your dedication to the board and working for your community. Just a couple of quick items. One is that, as Jeremy did mention, or somebody mentioned earlier, the census is still very important to be completed by all the residents of the district. I know the bid has done a yeoman's job in trying to get people out to complete their census. The borough president has allocated funds to Bronx Works to work in Community District 11 in order to get more people to fill out the census and to participate in this portion of our democracy. Secondly, Last month or 2 months ago, you had asked about the blood center, and in terms of the possibility of this blood center opening a facility in the borough. We did reach out to them, and while they did have a plan at some point in the past to open a facility in the borough, COVID has put that to the side. They've been hit financially very much during this pandemic. They are now concentrating on trying to get locations for blood, for their blood banks. Not many locations are willing to open their doors right now to large groups of people, and the blood center has some very specific space requirements for locations that may be interested. So if you have a location that's interested, please let me know, and we can pass it on to the blood center. And then finally, just to congratulate Yahe on his election as first vice chair. We congratulate him and all the work that he has done for the community and will continue to do. Thank you.
Thank you, and that's time.
Thank you, Tom. We have Ardmir from Councilmember Bonai's office. Tell me when you're ready, Christian.
I'm ready.
Ardmir, go.
All right, I hope everyone is doing well. I'm filling in for Farah today. Just a couple announcements. Elections are just around the corner. Make sure you have your voting plan, whether it is voting early or absentee voting. There's also a need for poll workers, so please apply to be a poll worker if you would like. Like Tom said from the BP's office, the Census 2020 deadline is approaching September 30th, so please make sure to fill out your census. Indoor dining will reopen at 25% capacity on September 30th as well. We have a food, hand sanitizer, mask giveaway at the district office every Tuesday at 11 a.m. We also have a food and face mask giveaway every Saturday at 9 a.m. at 2141 Holland Avenue with AAOHA and ICNA Relief. As you may know, there's a budget deficit in New York City. Our office is striving to make neighborhoods safer, cleaner, better. So our new initiative is Clean Up District 13, where we partner with community organizations and city agencies to clean up our parks and neighborhoods. So please contact our office if you would like to schedule a cleanup with us. Our office is still open, even though we're physically closed. You can call us and email us if you would like. You can subscribe to our weekly newsletter as well by contacting our office. And yep, that's all I have.
Okay, thank you, Ardmir.
Thank you.
And if you didn't mute yourself, if you can mute yourself, thank you. Yeah, perfect. Joseph McManus is next. Councilmember Torres's office.
Mute.
You're unmuted, Joe.
Okay, I just want to let everybody know I have not been sick or anything, but I've been vacant because when the pandemic started, I took a leave of absence from the office, and I just got back at the middle of August. So not that I've been avoiding anybody, but I've been very cautious. Just want to let you know that the office is actually open. The hours are short from Tuesday to Friday, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. And you must call because only one constituent is allowed in the office at one time. So if your issue could be adjudicated over the phone, we would like that to be the best way. If it can't be, and you got to bring paperwork in or something to do whatever you have to do, call the office and they will slot you in for an appointment. You definitely have to have a mask on, your temperature will be taken, and you'll have to register your name, address, phone number so we can just get back to you. We actually, the councilman had a cleanup. We cleaned up with FedCap around the foliage around the transit police station on 180th Street. I know I got a request what the councilman put towards the Van Nest at Memorial. We did put in for the flagpole, and the flagpole was $60,000. All the Councilmember Torres reappointment to Community Board have been approved. I sent at the District Service Council meeting, we had a discussion about restaurants and the COVID surcharge. I sent that information to Jeremy. And turkeys, people have been asking about turkeys. Well, you know, just as everything's been happening, there's a lot of businesses that are not doing well. So we don't know what we're going to be doing with the turkeys. Last year, I know we got 50 turkeys from the governor, and other businesses supplied stuff. So we're really here or there without the turkey. So that's the strength of my report. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Joe. Okay, should be Bob Press, if he's still in the meeting. Yes.
Okay, thank you, Jeremy. I checked on the address you gave me about the disturbance, about a party, but the address is a phone store. I'll be with the Councilman King on Saturday at an event right across the street, and we're going to check on the address again to see if it was a different store. As for the homeless shelter on proposal on Blondell Avenue, Westchester Avenue and Community Board 9 had the same proposal. I asked the mayor why he was pushing adult men and women homeless shelters over family homeless shelters now. The mayor said that all of a sudden there has been an increase in homeless men and adult homeless men and women. At the Westchester Avenue plan, though, site, the plan is to have 18 to 20 adult men in one single room on cots with one communal bathroom. On Blondell Avenue, you have a different problem because this site is by Royal Flush, which flushed their whatever it was down the sewer, and you have two abandoned service stations with whatever hazardous materials they have that fell underneath the ground. And an environmental an EIS study is needed of the site, as well as you need to see what the floor plan is since we're in a pandemic right now. And lastly, as for wanting affordable housing, a developer in CB 7, 8, and 12, I won't mention their name, proposed market rate housing, which wound up homeless shelters in those three community boards. And that's it. Just be careful what you wish for. And I believe I said that to you once before.
Okay, thank you, Bob. Marielle De La Cruz, the comptroller's office, she's here, unmuted now. Hello?
Jeremy, I'm also on another line. If you can get me on the other one, that's my phone.
Okay.
Because I can't.
Okay, so she muted herself. She's
I said I have two. I'm on two lines. So if you can let me unmute myself on the other one.
And what's the other? Let me.
It says my name.
What's the other number?
Oh, it's a 212 number.
Not seeing. Oh, I see. I got you. All right. Okay.
Hi, everyone.
There you go.
Can y'all hear me? There
Yes.
you go. Okay, I'm so sorry about that. This is hi everyone. Welcome back from the summer. I know there have been a few meetings in the past, but I'm glad to be here right now. My name is Marielle De La Cruz. I am the Bronx Borough Director for New York City Comptroller Scott Stringer. He's been doing a lot. I'm sorry about that. He's been doing a lot of work over the summer regarding education, small businesses, but I'm going to talk about today. One, which was released soon, the Comptroller believes that the Open Streets program should be year-round. I know that some folks have been innovative in figuring out how to make sure that their customers are comfortable with it to cold and heat and all that kind of stuff. The Open Streets has helped about 90,000 restaurant jobs and allowing more than 10,000 restaurants to open back amid the pandemic. So we think it was a wonderful idea. You know, there was always, certain things that had to be worked out, but people had the opportunity to continue to run their businesses successfully. And we would want to make sure that restaurants have that opportunity to not only regain where they were, but be able to continue to succeed. Because I know that was a concern for lots of folks. When it comes to education, the controller has put out a few calls. One call, it was suggestions for safe reopening. Another call is just to make sure that the over 100,000 homeless or students in shelters have an opportunity to succeed, making sure they have workspaces that are comfortable, but also so that they have positive access to Wi-Fi. When it comes to the Wi-Fi piece, there's also another call to ensure that there's an extension or continues to be support from the big internet providers to ensure that people have access to internet, that it be free, or if not persecuting folks. And
10 seconds left.
Or two more. How many? I didn't hear. Okay. And then lastly, we have a back to school guide with a bunch of DOE information in English, Spanish, and I believe Mandarin. But if folks have any questions for me, I always share my contact info. And again, if I don't know about your meeting, I cannot attend, either be virtual or in person. So please ensure that I am in person. That's why they get notified. But thank you so much, everyone. Have a beautiful night. And thank you for, thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Mariel. So, let's see. With me. So, Cristina Calderon, let me find her and unmute her. Christina.
Good evening and welcome back, Community Board 11. Although I don't feel like you guys took much of a break, but we are officially resuming. Just a few announcements I have today. There'll be 2 events we're participating in this weekend. One of them is tomorrow, Friday, the 25th. The other is on Saturday, December 26th. So the event on the 25th is a community march against gun violence. And we're doing that in collaboration with BRAG, Bronx Rises Against Gun Violence, the 52nd Precinct, Councilman Fernando Cabrera, and Good Shepherd Services. And we're hosting, if you've been paying attention, we've been hosting anti-crime events throughout the borough, just to bring awareness and to get community participation in terms of when it comes to trial, when cases come, and just getting people to come to speak out on behalf of the crime that's happening in their community. And also, like I said, to bring awareness. So the March Against Gun Violence in the 52nd Precinct actually takes place at 6 p.m. and it'll be held, the starting point is Bedford Park and Bainbridge Avenue. And the one for Saturday is actually being hosted by Release the Grip, which is also another cure violence agency. So they're having a family fun day and a block party. And so they're gonna have events for the community, and that begins at 1 p.m. On Garden Street.
30 seconds.
Avenue and Southern Boulevard. Okay, thank you, Christian. All right, so another event that we're actually hosting within our office, in collaboration with the Mayor's Office to End Gender-Based Violence. We're hosting a virtual 5K walk. So if you'd like to participate, I will send the information to Jeremy. You can participate any date from October 3rd to the 10th. And what all you have to do is kind of take a picture of you doing a picture or video of you walking, or of your
time.
The pedometer. Can I just say one more thing? And I also share 2 more press releases.
Okay.
These are cases that were in the media.
Okay.
One was for a man indicted for murder.
So she shared more stuff. If you need her contact info, let me know. I'm sorry, Christina, I have to mute you because if I don't, I set a bad precedent and it just goes on and on with everybody. They take advantage of it. So let that be a lesson, Marcus, from Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez's office. Is he still here? Was he ever in? Didn't see him. Okay, good. Sorry, if you're calling in on the phone, I need you to text me or something and let me know you're calling in from a phone. You should have, hopefully, my cell phone number still. Emily Vasquez from Senator Biaggi's office. Going to be unmuted now. All right,
Hi.
2 minutes.
I only need 30 seconds. I hope everyone had a great summer. We held our annual end of summer event. We had a spin to it this season, and it was the census event. Thank you so much to the Morris Park Bid for being part of our event last Saturday. We also women-led caravan all over the district in order to make noise for the census. We are phone banking and making sure everyone is counted. If anyone knows of any kids that needs any learning devices for back to school, please let our office know, and we'll try our best to get you guys in contact with the appropriate people. That's all. Thank you.
Okay, sorry, I had to type because Ronell is calling in. I see his name 3 times though, so. All right, it was 3 times. Hold on. Let me see if I can unmute him. Nope. I need to know the number. Ronell, you're calling in from? Ronell, is that you?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Perfect. Worked out.
All right.
Go ahead.
Okay. Hi, my name is Ronell from Senator Bailey's office. So our office opened up towards the end of July. So we are doing constituent services from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m., but we are doing our constituent services outside and under a tent as a precaution for COVID. We also encourage anyone that's coming in for constituent service to wear a mask. And if you don't have one, we will supply you one. During the course of the pandemic, we have been collaborating with Natalia Fernandez's office doing food distribution and PPE giveaways. So July 7th, we did a food distribution. August 13th, a food distribution, and August 14th, we did a PPE giveaway. Also, just a reminder for everyone to do their census. There are 6 days left. We strongly encourage you to do your census. Thank you.
Thank you, Ronell. We have Caitlin from Senator Rivera's office. Yes, she's here. I see her. Caitlin. I think she. I
think now you can hear me?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Hi, everybody. I am going to be very quick because I believe I'm the last thing on your agenda, so I will let you guys go. But I hope you all had a good summer. I just want to say Senator Rivera has been working really hard to make sure that our schools are reopening safely, not only for our students, but for our teachers and other staff members as well. In fact, we just hosted a town hall with Assemblymember Pichardo a few hours ago. If you're interested in that, you can watch it on either of our Facebook pages. But if you guys have questions about your child going back to school, please reach out to us and we can coordinate with the Department of Education. I'm going to hit it like everybody else did. Please fill out your census. Make sure you're asking your family or friends to fill out the census. And I will leave my information in the chat. So if any of you need to be in contact with me, please reach out.
Thank you. Thank you, Caitlin. Is Natalia Fernandez's office here? They said they were going to attend. I don't see a name I recognize. I don't know if they're calling in. So if not, we'll move on.
He left early, Jeremy.
Okay. Okay. So then moving on, we have old business. Any old business before maybe we get to the ethics committee old business? Okay.
I'm sorry. Old business?
Yeah, old business. Anything rehash, so to speak.
Okay, it's just that I was still asking for the community board to give me a letter for me to take to our constituents to help me with this project, this capital project for East Chester Gardens Parks.
So
But I never received the letter yet.
So Lisa, I know we talked about this and we did finally get something from the Parks Department, I think. I believe I didn't really get a chance to look at it yet. Did you get that, Pat?
No, I'm talking about the letter from the community board for me to take to Hasty's office and Senator Jamal Bailey's office to get funding. We had already the motion on that and they agreed to do it, but I never received the letter.
Okay. I don't remember if we voted on this at a full board meeting. Maybe we did. I don't know if anyone else recalls.
It's been a while since they had voted on it, but I never received it, and I kept questioning it, but no one responded.
Okay. I mean, I'll go back and look through our records, and if we did vote on it, yeah, I mean, we'll make it happen. So,
Thank you.
okay. Let's see. So then any other old business?
I have something. I'm not sure if this is old business or new.
Well, is it
I
something
had-
maybe discussed before? That's really what it.
Okay, so I had sent the
Yes.
email about the survey for the community district needs. Did anything come out of that? I didn't see any email or it being shared today. So
I assume that's something we're going to discuss in the committee to make sure the rest of the committee members are on board with it. I know some people did respond,
okay.
but I think that would be the appropriate
Okay,
response.
so our next committee meeting is on the 14th at the same time as the our public hearing, right?
Yeah, I mean, I encourage you to definitely. I know you did email some of the community members. I don't know if you heard from
Okay,
all
so
of
then
them.
I'll touch base with our committee beforehand, just because I think timing is
Yeah, I
not
agree.
gonna
There is
work.
a timing issue. So, yes.
Okay.
And we've talked about this. As many people know, I usually contact, if I need you to look at something, I'll contact you, right? Or Harriet or Crystal. So, all right. So, any other old business? We'll go back to ethics.
Can I just make a
Hazel?
statement? Yeah.
Yeah, Hazel.
I just wanted to let everybody know that NIDC has finally moved, and we are now located at 2160 Matthews Avenue between Pelham Parkway South and Lydic Avenue. We're still unpacking, but we are functioning as an office. So if anybody needs any assistance, we see tenants Monday, Wednesday, and Friday by appointment only. The number hasn't changed. So if you need us, call us.
Okay. Yeah, hey, do you want to start? Do you want me to start? Or how do you want to do this? Because I think there should be much clarity in terms of what we're proposing to do.
Yeah, so before we even call for the motion, I believe it's best to go into executive session since we're discussing personal matters of a community board that might lead to possible discipline.
So let me just clarify that for everybody, because we have members of the public still. So let me share my screen. If you go to the handbook for community board members, open meetings law requires all meetings of public bodies, we're a public body, community board 11 is a public body, be open to the public with certain exceptions, not applicable, permits public bodies to close portions of their meetings, go into executive session when certain types of issues are to be discussed and the correct procedure to close the meeting is followed. So Yahe already mentioned the reason. So there are these.
Oh no, Jeremy.
Did we lose Jeremy? Yeah, I think when he shares his screen, his internet goes really slow.
Jeremy, close the screen. We can't hear you.
I think he froze.
So yeah, as you can see on the top of the second page, he's showing there, if anyone still sees it, demotion or discipline are in there. And because we are recommending some sort of discipline, the matter has to be discussed in private or in executive session.
Yeah, hey, may I ask a question?
if it involves the member directly, negative, but if it's just a general question, I can answer.
No, I want to know who the member is because there's
We
a
can-
reason. You know, I think we should know who is involved.
Control or
we'll know.
executive session.
Yeah, we'll know in executive session. After executive session, and once we vote, then it becomes public.
Are we in executive session yet?
Not yet. We're going to wait for Jeremy to come back, and then we'll call for a motion to go into executive session.
Okay.
Hey, can I make a statement? I didn't hear if you said yes or not.
Just switching earpieces because the other one, the battery died.
Oh, I understand. Well, my one statement would be, I don't know what's behind this specific request. I don't know who the member of the board is, but I actually don't think we should put that person's name in any form, whether it's an executive session or now. I think we can correct this. I personally believe that everyone should be mandated as a member of the community board to take that training. And rather than holding one particular person accountable, I think it's something that every board member should be accountable for.
We have the annual training, which is the ethics course that everybody takes. This would be in addition to that.
Great.
Just an aside.
So bad if
Jeremy is trying to, excuse me 1 second. Jeremy is trying to get his Wi-Fi back on. He lost his Wi-Fi. So we're not in executive session.
Thanks, Al.
I agree with you, Christian. I think everyone should take it. Take that training.
Yeah, but you have to understand this is in addition to. It's not the same. It's completely different.
Yeah, unless you want to, Sandy, if you want to make a motion for everybody to take 2 courses annually, then I don't think you'll have many fans.
I gather that. I see that.
I'm not taking 2 courses in it. It's okay. I took so many already.
Yeah, honestly, I don't even take this many at work, so I think I'm gonna pass on that, on the other training.
I think we should have more of a discussion on this.
Can we hear what was the reason for wanting to make this person take this training?
I guess we can be discussed in executive session. We're not there yet. Just hold on. We'll be there soon. If Jeremy gets back.
I see an open mic for Jeremy, but I just don't hear him.
So Al, how long do we wait? If he can't get his Wi-Fi on, we have to postpone this? What do you think?
I don't know. I guess we'll give him 5 or 10 minutes, and if he doesn't get on in 5 or 10 minutes, we'll just postpone and maybe make a call one night when it's convenient to everybody and get that done.
Chris can't take over?
No, I don't have, oh, Jeremy's back in, I think.
I don't know how to take everybody else off.
No, the point is,
Here
I'm not the host.
Is there any time frame of when we may go back to regular meetings?
Hold on, he's just texting me. No, not yet. I cannot be the host because I don't have that. I didn't check in as host.
I see his screen.
Chris, you don't know how to remove everybody that doesn't belong? Chris?
I'm sorry, say it again now?
You don't know how to remove everybody that doesn't belong?
I cannot do it because I'm not the host. I'm not the person. Yeah.
Okay.
Can you give
I
Jeremy
actually
a
don't
call
think
on
you
his
can
phone?
do that. I don't think you can actually remove people. in that way.
Yes,
hopefully-
you can kick people out if you're the host.
You can, as a host, you can do that. Yes, absolutely.
You can kick people off temporarily or kick them off for the whole meeting.
No, you can. Sometimes people bomb your Zoom or this session, and you can remove them.
Oh no, I thought you meant temporarily because I thought the goal was to get back in once you're all done discussing. So I know that you could kick people off, but I'm not sure if you could like bring people back in. That makes sense.
Yeah, because once we go into executive session, we have to reopen the meeting to the public. We have to let them be able to come back in.
Which I'm not sure you can do. That's what I was wondering.
Items to be discussed, so they don't have to come back in.
Chris, when you hover over the participant tab in Zoom in the Zoom call, in the web call, it says reclaim host role. I don't know if that's something that would work.
Yeah, I know, but I had to check in as a host too.
Okay.
The host, he has to be the host to do that. Those responsibilities happen with the host, not with everyone else.
Okay.
So they could go into executive session.
Chris, can you call Jeremy and find out what he wants to do? If we can't get back in, can he?
He's tried to get in. I saw him. It lit up. Then after that, it went out again. I don't know. I mean, I can try to call him again. Hold on.
Give him a call and find out what's going on.
Yeah, he's in. He's in because it goes in and out. Probably it's very bad. Hold on.
Jeremy's on the budget plan for internet. It expires at 10 o'clock. Sorry, Jeremy. You can't defend yourself.
I have a question for everybody. Is everyone okay with using Zoom for future reference if we need to go into executive session?
I think this is a city. I think what the DOITT uses. I don't know if they use Zoom.
I asked Jeremy the same question, and he said that we had to stick with this one because
Yeah, because I work for the city, and I think they don't use Zoom. You can have people, anyone. I think this is through Do It. Do It uses
I'm
this.
back in.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah, my Wi-Fi's down, so I don't know what my ability is to kick people out, because that's what this comes down to. So I was starting to, explain why the details about executive session. Are we still there at the same point where I left off? I don't know.
Jeremy,
Yeah,
don't
Jeremy,
explain.
Don't
explain. Just get us into executive session.
He can't. He's no longer host. I can see.
Oh, okay.
So if he's no longer host, he can't do certain things now.
All right, then can we?
Hold on. Hold on.
You have to get back to being a host, Jeremy.
Yeah, so my Wi-Fi is down. It doesn't look like it's coming back up. So this relies upon Harriet to do this, or Chris logs in. Chris logs out and logs in and does it and kicks people out.
I have no idea how to do it.
That's how this is. My Wi-Fi, I rebooted my modem. It's still seems like it's not working.
Right, like Jeremy's not in as like a guest or.
Then I'm gonna kick out. Then I'm gonna get in.
Host.
You know what he should do
You would have
next
to.
time? He should come down to the office and run the meeting from the office.
There you go.
I was thinking the same thing, Sandy.
Think
Guys.
so with the Wi-Fi in the office?
I'm gonna get out. I'm gonna sign in as a host.
Okay, just do it, Chris.
And thanks, Chris.
Everybody having fun?
All right, so can
Tired. I want to go home. Oh wait, I have home. Wait a minute. I am. I'm just
told you what.
Jeremy, while we wait for Chris, can you please explain regarding the executive session? I did get an email from a public member saying that it only applies to employees and not to community board members.
Okay.
But
So yes, that's what I was trying to do, and there is an explanation needed, in my opinion. because the public has a right to know. So I need everybody to mute themselves. I no longer have the ability to mute everybody, or Harry, mute them all.
God, I don't know how.
No, you have to be the host.
Harry, you've done it before, Harriet. You click on participants at the top.
Okay.
And then
Sure.
click on mute all.
Okay.
I've unmuted myself. So there is, so you have to be very clear on the reasons for going into executive session. And I had it up, but I just basically shut down my computer to work out, to try to fix the Wi-Fi. Bear with me.
Okay, guys, I'm the host. You want me to, what you want me to do?
No. You guys didn't actually vote to go into executive session yet, right? They didn't vote yet, right, Chris?
No, not yet.
No.
Okay, so let me, before you go into executive session, you're very clear on the reasons.
Okay.
So bear with me. I'm pulling it up right now. So the open meetings law requires all meetings of public bodies to be open to the public. That includes community boards because we're a public body. But we may close portions of the meeting by going into executive session. And the subjects that may be discussed in closed meetings are what Yahe said. So in terms of matters leading to the appointment, employment, promotion, demotion, discipline, suspension, dismissal, or removal of a particular person or corporation. Now, the community board does have the power to remove its own members. We have done this before, as those of you who are aware, have been around long enough. And Yahe is saying that this is this type of situation where these are the type of complaints his committee is dealing with, right? A disciplinary matter.
Yeah, to
So,
a particular person, it doesn't specify an employee or anyone else. So it could be any particular person that we can discuss.
So you just have to make sure when you vote on the motion by the ethics committee, that's done in public. You vote to go into the executive session, and then you vote on the motion in public after you come out of the executive session. Is that clear enough for everybody?
That's correct.
All right, now the public, before we go, the public can come back into the meeting once executive session is over, or the meeting is opened back up.
Right.
So, so Yahe, you made a motion to go into executive session?
I'm making a motion to go into executive session to discuss a particular person's matter that may lead to discipline. Do I have a second?
All right, I'll second it, but you're saying may, so there's no decision yet. Is
Correct.
that
We
correct?
have to vote. We have to discuss it and then vote for that decision to occur. Since we have a second, Jeremy, can we just go into executive session?
No, you need to vote. Everybody needs to be in favor, against, abstentions.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Or
Aye.
Aye.
anyone, any against
or abstentions?
Or abstentions?
Okay,
All right,
so
it passes unanimously.
So Chris, any member of the public, that wishes to rejoin, I'm not sure when the meeting will come back online, but I don't know. I guess you'll have to notify us. Let us know. I mean, if you know how to get in touch with us, by all means.
Did Christian take it off of Facebook?
Well, it was me that was on Facebook Live.
Oh, okay.
Once my internet went down, so did Facebook.
Okay.
But still is recording, Jeremy. I have to stop the recording, correct?
Is it still recording?
Yes, I have the red.
So then stop it. Stop it.
Hold up.
Hopefully the recording's saved because it might have went too. I tried to stop.
It started now under me for 2 minutes and 49 seconds. So
then stop it.